Hello, I'm the Awkward Jam Corbin, and I'm just trying to test out my streaming stuff. I'm not sure if this is going to work. Double checking my YouTube page to see if I'm live, which I am. It seems like it's working, so if it's not working, you can let me know down here in the chat. I can see everything. Let's just get right into it. I've got all these games here. I just want to know, it's coming up to the end of the year, and I know Steam sales coming down the pipe. I want to know what games I should be playing. I'm constantly being told I have so many games already. I should be like probably adding to playing the ones that I already have. But let's just see what we got here. Now, I do have a little bit of a ranking system. Uh, I also do share my account with my wife, so there is a bit of crossover here. First up, we've got 80 Days. It's an indie classic. I haven't played it yet. I kind of want to play it. Not sure if it'll be for me, but we'll see how it goes. I'm updating. I have a little spreadsheet here that I'm using for this. I'm actually surprised how many games I have. I only have about 300 games. I would have thought I had so many more because I buy stuff in bulk sometimes in bundles. Let's check it out here. We've got here uh, Age of Mythology. It's one I love. It's probably one of my favorite games from when I was a kid. Age of Wonder. I don't even remember buying this. I won't. I don't remember it. I'm just gonna say I don't remember it and rank it that way. Airborne Kingdom. It was meh. I tried it for about 30 minutes, but we'll see how that goes. I'm getting a little bit of a warning here that YouTube isn't liking this. We'll see how that goes as well. So, Airborne Kingdom was a game I got a long time ago because I wanted to have a simulation game. I was going through a kick on that. I give it a meh. It didn't really draw me in. Alice Madness Returns. I played this game for a little bit and then I got a new computer and my I lost my save file. I liked it at the time, but I'm not likely to go back to it. Alien Breed 2 is a weird game. I want to actually play it again. It was this top-down game that was given out for free at one point during on Steam. Thank you for the one viewer who is currently watching. I don't know why I had it, but it was fun just to have. Aliens versus Predators. Predator is probably one of the best alien and Predator games you can ever get. I actually will say I love that one. It was a game that you could play each one of the three factions. You could play aliens, you could play predators, and you could play colonial marines. Fun to play. Alpha Protocol is a RPG by Obsidian that was a spy game. I remember loving it at the time. Uh, I want to play it again. I've tried to pick it up and play it again, but it doesn't really like. There's some problems with it. Uh, but it's a spy RPG, and I love myself modern day RPGs, so I'll give it a want to play. Alternate Alternative A. I am not. I don't remember buying this one. I think I got it when I was into adventure games, but like I don't remember anything about it. Amnesia: The Dark Descent. I'm gonna put as a meh. I like horror games, but for some reason I just couldn't get through like the first level. I got stuck there. I couldn't leave. Among Us is a classic. It was a favorite of mine during COVID. I haven't really played it much since, but it was a very fun one. Antichamber, I'll give it a meh. It was a puzzle game. It has some weird indie stuff going along with it. So if you ever like those types of things, I highly suggest checking that out. We're gonna slide down here after past Antichamber. Uh, Aragami. I was in the middle of playing it. I really liked it. It's kind of a stealth ninja type game. Then we have Artemis. Artemis is a game I would suggest to people who have multiple friends. It is a Star Trek Starship type simulator. It's very fun. I would say it's one of my favorites, but I'll just put it as a loved one here because it it was fun to play with friends, but without friends, I can't really play it. Like everyone's doing something else now, and we're not all in the same room. We used to do it a lot when we were all in college together. Audio Surf was one that I liked. You could play games based on your whichever music you were playing at the time. I really like it. It was a good one. Automa Chef, it's kind of a meh for me. I like the concept, but it just takes too long to get everything set up for the automation of the kitchen. Fun little time waster game. Battle Block Fe- Battle Block Theater. I don't remember. I know the intro. The intro is memorable, but I've never played more than. I haven't even gone past the start screen on it. Battlefleet Gothic. I give it a meh. Again, it's one of those games I tried to get into, but I just couldn't. BattleTech is one of my favorites. I'm playing it again, and it's like the fifth time I've played it. I really like running a crew and having the event stuff, and my choices feel like they matter, and building up my crew really, really feels fun. Once I get into the assault mechs, which are the heaviest type mechs, I feel like the game kind of peters out, but it's a really fun game if you like to build a small crew. It really gives me the Firefly vibe if you ever look for that in a game. We have Beat Hazard. Loved Liked that game when it came out. It was a fun little game. Beginner's Guide. Um, I want to play it. It's a one for game devs to like sort of get them back into the swing of things. Beholder is actually a game I think my wife bought, so I'm just gonna put that as one of hers. Bejeweled 3. It's a fun little like casual game, match 3 game. Probably popularized the match 3 genre in everything. Beyond Good and Evil is a classic third person game where you take pictures of things and go up against a like propaganda machine. Has a really cool and pumping soundtrack. I liked it. I never finished it, but that's just because it's one of those games that it's hard to play in the modern day once you're used to everything that's changed with modern game design and things of that nature. Okay, now we've got BioShock. I'm only going to cover it as the remastered. I loved it. I'll say I love BioShock. I love BioShock 2, and I'll say I liked BioShock 3, BioShock Infinite rather. The reason I say I love them is because I always like going back and playing those games. I've played BioShock 1 and 2 twice now, I think. BioShock Infinite I've only played once so far, and that's because when I tried to play it back again, I realized that every area that you go to fight is just a shooting gallery, and there's not much that you can change and manipulate with the environment. Whereas with like Bioshock 1 and 2, you could lose the enemies and you could reset up traps and things and play with their AI and stuff like that. But Bioshock Infinite just didn't have that. The next one's Biped. I don't remember this. This sounds like a game that either my wife got or I got to play with my wife, so I don't remember. Black Mesa is I want to play it. I bought it recently and I got through a good chunk of it, but I haven't really figured out what's going on with it. It's a retelling. It's a redone Source 2 or Source 3. I forget what source we're up to now of the original Half-Life game. Blind Drive is a game that my wife got. Blood Bowl Legend Edition. I loved it in the past. I'd say I'll keep it as loved, and Chaos Edition I'll say is loved as well. Blood Bowl was just a fun game to play and have fun with. It's a tabletop game for foremost as a type of like video game. So really, you're just taking the tabletop game and making it a video game and having that enjoyment. The games still are long. Like it's very long to play the game, so it just takes up a lot of time. Bloomtown, I think is a demo I downloaded because I wanted to check it out, so I'm not going to rate that at the moment. Blueberry Garden. This was bought in a bundle a long time ago with a bunch of other casual games, so I don't really remember what it's about. Borderlands 2, I liked it. I'll say that. Not much of a person for the Diablo style loot system. Borderland Borderlands 1, meh. I just I just didn't really like it. Same thing with the pre-sequel. For some reason, Borderlands 1 I actually hated because I was following that game in its development, and they drastically changed it from a Fallout 3 style game to the like cell shaded type game that we have now. And playing it, you got missions from like random billboards, and there wasn't much an interaction with the characters, whereas Borderlands 2 fixed that. Bounty Train was a game I got because I wanted to play a train game. I kind of liked it. It was fun. You get to run around with a train and do some um, economy stuff, throwing around things with a like you have a train that you control and you have some fun with it, selling things around to build up your train and get a better train and things of that nature. Um, Braid, I liked it. It's a classic. Breath of the Death 7. I don't really remember this. I think I bought it as part of a bundle with another game. The Bridge, I think, is one of my wife's games. Brutal Legend, I always want to play it, but I never really can get into it. It takes a while for you to get into the more like you're commanding armies of rockers and things. Uh, the Bureau XCOM Declassified is meh. It's like it was when they tried to turn XCOM into a third person shooter and it just didn't work. Call of Cthulhu, I want to play. However, it really sucks because the game crashes when you try and go down a ladder at some point. Card Hunter. I mean, it was it was kind of a meh game. It was a free game, I think, that they gave out. I think it was Penny Arcade helped make it or something. It's basically D&D, and it's you play as characters dealing with a game master and things of that nature. It's kind of fun. Chantalise, I have no recollection of this game. My wife doesn't like anime, so it's probably something I bought in a bundle. Chroma Squad, I loved it. It was one of my favorites at one point. You basically are playing a Super Sentai uh, team or Power Rangers team as Pixely. It's fun. It's kind of like XCOM but with Power Rangers. Command and Conquer 4, I liked at the time, but I tried playing it recently and it's just I couldn't get into it. Red Alert 3 though, I would say I love. It was one of those really fun games, and Uprising is kind of just like a expansion on top of that. Crayon Physics, I don't remember. It was part of the bundle with another game. I think it was Blueberry Garden and Braid or something at some point. Crazy Taxi, it's a favor of mine. Only issue is if you get the PC version and not one of the original, it doesn't have the product placement and the music that it came with originally, which is sad because I have such nostalgia for those memories. Crusader Kings 2, I want to play, but the controls are just very difficult for me. I don't know what's going on with that. Let's see what else we got here. I know this isn't going to be an interesting stream for my normal viewers, but this is just kind of for me to test out streaming on YouTube. So I apologize if this isn't what you were thinking I would be doing this month. Crisis, it's fine. I like it. Problem is it's the same problem I had with BioShock Infinite. It's a game that is basically just bunches of shooting galleries, and it does have a little bit of nuance here and there, but I haven't tried it out. I won't likely play Crisis Warhead or Crisis Wars. I don't know anything about them, but they're interesting. Cthulhu Saves the World. It was kind of meh. I'm not much of a JRPG person, though I found that out while playing Cthulhu Saves the World. You can speed up the game and like you're playing as Cthulhu and other characters, and it just didn't work for me. Cultist Simulator, kind of meh. I like the concept. It's just trying to get further and further into the game. It's very much kind of like a roguelike type game where you can easily fail and have to restart back if you're not familiar with the mechanics. Darkest of Days was a funny game. I liked it. It was a very jank game though. Originally, it was on E3, and it was like, "Hey, we've got a game where you can travel back in time and use assault weapons in the Civil War era or something of that nature." And I was just like, "Okay, Darkest of Days is not the like." I was really into it at one point. I finished it like in I think an hour, like a few hours or something like that. But it was definitely not a great game. Darwinia, I think, is one of my wife's games. Death and Taxes, I kind of want to play, but I haven't had the time to really sit down and go through it. Death Trap Dungeon, it was very meh. It was an old game, third person. I just really like the idea of going through a dungeon and trying to escape. Um, Something like a maze or a labyrinth. And honestly, this is just cementing the fact as a game master, you shouldn't. You should be very careful when you try and do a game that is a freaking a freaking maze. Democracy and Democracy 4 are my wife's games. Deus Ex Game of the Year is one of my favorites. I've played it a few times, and it just had a lot of like ways that you could beat it. I like going through and doing things with like a pacifist look at the game. Um, Deus Ex Invisible War was very meh. I finished it, I think, but I can't remember anything from that game. Human Revolution was I liked it, but it definitely got to meh towards the end of the playthrough. Problem is they outsourced the boss fights, and I was trying to do a pacifist run, which meant I couldn't beat the game without at least killing, I think, 4 or 5 people because they threw them in there. Additionally, at the end of the game, it was just like a pick 3 options, and that's what happens. Disco Elysium, I want to play. My wife's currently stuck through it, so I'm not gonna touch that. Dishonored is meh to me. I still haven't finished it. Playing through as an assassin is fun in first person, but it just feels like I feel like I need to like save state scum a lot. Dishonored 2 I want to play, but I'm not sure if I don't like the first one, if it's gonna grip me as much. Divinity Original Sin 2 is one I have liked, and I like playing it. I need to play it with my wife and get her back into it. We kind of got stuck in a weird spot, and I just want the game to open up because I just don't like being stuck on that starting island for so long. Doom 3, meh. It doesn't stack up to modern modern games right now. It's a horror game, but there were a lot of times where I couldn't even beat the game. I couldn't even beat a section of the game, and I had to go into God mode because of how ammo and armor and health is distributed. I got stuck in a elevator sequence with like all these like spiders coming at me, and I was waiting for a ladder to drop down. It was very crazy. Dota 2, I mean, I got that for free. I won't likely play it because I don't like MOBAs. Dragon Age Origins, I liked it. I It's another game I went through a lot. I got through a lot of it, and then I was just like, oh, I got a new computer, or my old computer died, and I lost the save file, and I don't want to have to go through and play it all over again. Drug Dealer Simulator is one of my wife's games. I might want to play it. Dungeon of the Endless, I don't remember. Dungeon Land, I don't remember. I feel like it was a game that had a little bit of coverage where you play as like a GM type character, but then it just kind of didn't go anywhere. Dungeons, I want to play Dungeons. I have played Dungeons 3 and 4 is on my radar, but I think playing Dungeons 1 after playing Dungeons 3, I might miss a few of the characters. Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers. I don't remember purchasing this game. I was actually looking at this and adding it to my wish list the other day, and I'm like, maybe I just have the demo. Yes, I just have the demo, so I shouldn't rate it yet. I want to play it though. Dynasty Warriors 8. I really like the old Dynasty Warrior games. It's fun to have it. It's a game I liked. Not something I go back to too frequently. Elder Scrolls Oblivion. I loved it when I was a kid. It was fun. Same thing with Skyrim. Everyone knows those games. Euro Truck Simulator is another one of my wife's games. Everyday Shooter was just a fun game. I liked it. It's kind of like an indie shooter game with a lot of music-based mechanics of like when you hit something, you have like a nice reverb going on it. Everything. I won't likely play it. It's one of my wife's games. Evil Genius 2. I played Evil Genius 1, but I didn't realize I don't have it on Steam here. I liked it, but not as much as Evil Genius 1. Divine Cybermancy is a meh game. It's a very complex shooter game with lots of hacking and mechanics that doesn't explain. Fallout 3, loved it. Fallout 4, it's a favorite of mine. And Fallout New Vegas is also a favorite of mine. I love the Fallout games a lot, and I will go back to each and every one of them. Fallout 3 less so now, just because Fallout 4 and Fallout New Vegas are kind of my top tier in different ways. The Far Cry games, because this here Fantasy World Simulator is a demo. That Far Cry, all the Far Cry games are I won't likely play. I think I bought them all on sale. Far Cry Blood Dragon I did play and I liked it. It was kind of a fun, cool looking game. Fear 1, I liked it. I am not likely to play Fear 2 or 3. And the reason for that is I bought Fear 1 because it used Fuzzy Logic AI to create their NPCs and enemies as sort of their behavior for getting into fights. And it was such a complex thing and didn't add much to the game that they scrapped it for the future releases. But I had to buy all the other Fear games just to play Fear 1 because they were all on sale for like $5 or $10 or something. Okay, going down here, Final Fantasy VIII. Won't likely play. I bought it a long time ago. Problem is the Final Fantasy games, especially the older ones, don't really work well on PC from what I found, and some of them just have a long slog to grind through now compared to like when I was a kid and I had time to actually do stuff. Fortune Summoner Secret, I don't remember buying this game. Freedom Force, I won't likely play because I'll put meh. It's because it's a superhero tactics game, tactics RPG type game. But the problem is the mechanics are very out of date now. It's very hard to pick up and play like normal. Frostpunk, I love Frostpunk. A few years ago, I bought it and it was just awesome. Frozenheim, have I played this one? Okay, I played it a little bit. It's a fun little game. It's a Viking RTS, and it's kind of fun. Faster Than Light, FTL. I loved it. It's still a fun game to play. Problem is it's a rogue type game where you're basically restarting from square one every playthrough. It can be a bit difficult to drop it and come back. Galaxy of Pen and Paper, I liked it. It was a fun little game, but it really doesn't have a lot going for it, like plot wise or anything else mechanically. It's just kind of quirky. Game Dev Tycoon, I'd say I love it. It's just fun pretending to be a game dev, and I've done game dev stuff and it's just fun to like see what it would be like if I actually went into game development as a career. Game of Thrones, a Telltale game. I'll just say I won't likely play. I bought it a long time ago with the Telltale bundle, and a lot of those Telltale games, I liked them at the time, but just like as I got older, they're more like interactive movies and not really like choose your own adventure style games, if that makes sense. I don't know. Gary's Mod, I won't likely play because Gary's Mod is just something that everyone I think has in their Steam library. I'm not even sure about that anymore. Uh, I've tried playing it and I don't know how to play it. And I know people play like random mod games on it and it's just very hard. Um Gauntlet, I want to play Gauntlet again. It's an old-timey top-down game. I remember playing as a kid and like loving it with like getting it renting at Blockbuster and playing it with a friend. This is a newer version. Problem is it's one of those games where you need other people to play it with you. Ghostmaster is one of my favorite games. I go back to it all the time. I just really like having a sim style game that I can let sit on my desktop in the background where the ghosts are scaring people away and doing various different things. Gish, I think, is a game my wife got. Godhood is a game I actually bought for my wife that I want to play myself. God's Watching is a game I want to play. Gods Will Be Watching is a game I want to play. However, I went to PAX East and I played a demo of it and I couldn't get through the first level. And the developer's like, I've never seen someone not be able to complete the first level. And then I went back and I bought it. And I've played, I think I can see how much I've played of the game. I have played over 2 hours of this game and I have not beaten the first level yet, which is just trying to negotiate a hostage situation. But every time I do it, the police I either accidentally kill everyone or the police storm us. So it's a game I've tried to play. I've tried to play on like the easiest setting and I still can't really beat. Gone Home is a game my wife got. I'm not likely to play it just because I already have spoiled myself on what it's about. Gorogoa is a very beautiful game. I liked playing it with my wife. It's a puzzle game. If you like puzzle games, it's a fun time. It's very much about forced perspective and things of that nature. Gotham City's Imposters, it was kind of meh. It's an online like live service type game that just probably came out at the wrong time. Grand Theft Auto 4 is meh to me because on the PC games side of things, it's 100 gigabytes to download this. I beat it in 51 hours and I got to the last mission and it was just impossible for me to beat the last mission because it requires you to use the helicopter skills or something which I didn't. I was bad at the helicopter. Graveyard Keeper, it's a fun game. I loved it. I haven't finished it yet and I probably won't just because it's sort of gotten too samey for me. Grim Fandango is a game I bought and I want to play. It's a classic. People always talk about it. Hackers Evolution, I won't likely play. It was a game I got for like super cheap on a sale, and I was like, oh, this seems interesting. Halcyon 6 Late Speed Edition. I think it was like, this is kind of like another one of those types of like Knights of Pen and Paper style games, and it was kind of fun when I played it, but I never went back to it. So I'll just say I liked it. Half-Life, I love the original Half-Life. I've never finished it though. Half-Life 2, I loved and I finished, as well as the episodes around them, the orange box and everything. Deathmatch I never played, and Deathmatch Source I never played. Hard West, I liked it. It was a fun little game, distraction game. I might say, I might even say I loved it because it was just fun to play a game that wasn't just a fantasy turn-based uh, tactical RPG or military-based tactical RPG. Heavy Rain is another game my wife bought. Same thing with Hidden Folk, which Hidden Folk, I hear, is a really good game, and I might try it out at some point. Hitman 1, I won't likely play. Hitman 2, I won't likely play. That's because these are the older games. I did play Hitman 2 a little bit, but I needed like a strategy guide for it. Hitman Blood Money is one of my favorite Hitman games. I love it so much. Absolution, I just liked. It wasn't really that great, and I don't remember purchasing the Sniper Challenge. I think it was something that got added to my account for free. Homefront Revolution, the Revolution. Like it, but the reason I like it is because it has the Time Splitters 2 game in it, and I've played Time Splitters 2 in it. It was hidden in the game that you could play a version of Time Splitters 2 with 2 of the levels unlocked. All the other levels sadly crash the game, which sucks, but it is what it is. House Flipper is a game my wife purchased. Same thing with 100 Days. Hyperdimension Neptunia. It was a mad game. Again, I got this because someone said, "Oh, it's like each of the like." I think it was PC, PlayStation, and Xbox are personified as anime girls. And I was like, "Oh, that sounds interesting. I'll try it out. It's a JRPG. I'm not usually into them, and I'm still not into JRPGs." I Am Future. I just recently played it. I loved it. It was fun. Ibn Ob is a game my wife purchased. Same thing with Invisible Hand. Invisible Ink, I've tried to play. I want to play. I'm going to try it out a little bit more. Jackbox games are probably my favorite. I love breaking them out whenever I want to hang out with friends online and things. So I'm just going to cover them all as favorite. Jetamuro is a game I liked. My wife got it for me during a sale a few years ago. It's a kind of fun game where you play as a giant robot, stomping around, doing things. I thought someone messaged me, but no one messaged me. That's good. Journey is a game my wife purchased. Kaiju A Go-Go, I kind of liked. It was a fun little game where you play as a kaiju that's controlled by an evil genius. Keep Talking and No One Explodes. I kind of like it. It's a fun little game to play with someone else. You need 2 people though, and that's always something that I have trouble figuring out. If a game requires multiple people, I usually don't like it because I like to play stuff on my own. Kentucky Zero, Route Zero is another game my wife got. Killing Floor was one of my favorite games. Same thing with the second one. It just got a little bit too like live servicey towards the end of it with Killing Floor 2, and I'm not even sure if it's done development now. Knights of Pen and Paper +1 edition. It's kind of a meh game. The problem is it has like it's formulaic now. It has its own formula, and the story just doesn't grip me. Last Stop is another one of my wife's games. Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2 used to be my favorite games of all time, and now they sort of died and gone to the wayside because I just can't play games online anymore. My mind doesn't let me. Lego Movie, I think I got it so I could play with my wife. I'll just say I want to play it. Life is Strange, I want to play. My wife played it and had fun. This is actually my own copy, so I think not too sure about that. I did get a lot of games for free at one point, so I don't know if that's one of them. I know Lego Movie might have been a game I got for buying a bundle, like a Humble Bundle thing at one point. Lobotomy Corp is kind of meh. I think it's just I don't get a lot of feedback from it when I do things right or wrong. And I tend to fail drastically, especially at the later stages of it. Long Dark is a game my wife bought. The Long Journey Home, I think my wife also bought it. Magica is meh to me just because I wanted to try and play it with a bunch of friends, and we ended up not being able to do it. It's a fun idea and concept. It's a fun idea and concept, but it just, if you don't have people to play it with, it's gonna fall apart. I kind of want to play Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale series. My wife and I started playing it a little bit, but didn't really get past it. Midnight Protocol is another one of my wife's games. She really likes these puzzly games. Clash of Heroes is a fun little like match 3 type game. It's kind of a fun little match 3 game. I liked it. I was easy enough to pick up and play again. Heroes of Might and Magic 6 is very meh to me. Problem is I have a concept if of what a Heroes of Might and Magic game should be, so it just sucks a bit, in my opinion. Mini Metro is my wife's game. Mirror's Edge, I want to play. I haven't really tried it out much. Monday Night Combat, I won't likely be able to play it because I think it actually got turned off. The servers are gone. Monkey Island 2. It was a liked game. It was a fun game to play. Monster Sanctuary. I want to play it. I haven't really dug too deep into it. Mr. Prepper, I need to finish. I kind of like it. Mr. Robot, I don't remember. Murdered Soul Suspect, I don't remember either. Northgard, I don't remember at all. I think it's one of my wife's games, not for broadcast. I liked playing it with my wife. We had a fun time with the like censoring the news and stuff like that, but I need to try it out on my own. Nuclear Dawn, I don't remember this game. It was a free game I tried out once, and then they gave me like 1,000,000 free copies to give to other people. Precipice of Darkness, I want to try and play, but the problem is it was an episodic RPG game that fell apart. It was run by it was an episodic game that they tried to do for Penny Arcade. One Finger Death Punch, I like it. I go back to it a bunch of times. Operation Tango, I liked it. I played it with my wife. It was a fun game. Orcs Must Die and Orcs Must Die 2 are games I really liked, and I really like playing. I'll say I might even love Orcs Must Die 3, which I have on Epic Store, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite. Orwell's one of my wife's games. I have to leave in a little bit because I have to pick up my wife, but Outer Worlds, I really loved. I'm still trying to get through it. Panorama is another one of my wife's games. Same thing with The Past Within. The Path is a kind of meh game that I bought as part of a bundle. Payday the Heist was a game I loved, but it was very difficult with the controls. Payday 2 fixed a lot of that, but then it became pay to win, so then it, or pay to play type game, so it became like a meh game. Peggle, I used to love Peggle when I was in college. Phantasy Star Online, I won't likely play. I bought it to play with a friend, and we had a falling out, so that's not likely going to happen. Phantom Doctrine, I want to play, but the problem is my computer crashes whenever I turn it on. Pillars of Eternity, I don't remember getting this game at all. Plague Inc. was a game I loved. Fun little game. Most people have played Plague Inc., I think. Trying to get Madagascar and stuff like that. Plainsight was... I don't really remember this game. I feel like I played it a couple times, and that was it. Planet Crafter is... I want to play it. I think that's a demo. Plants vs. Zombie, I used to love. Same thing with Poker Night. Portal 2. Resetlier is a, like, you own a store, or like a store to sell items to people. It was kind of a meh game. Problem is it's like one of those like play it and forget it type JRPG games, or not JRPG. It's an action RPG, but still like forget it. So I forget about it a lot. Red Lantern was a game of my wife's. I don't know anything about it. Regency Solitaire is a game I actually think is a loved game of mine. I originally bought it for my wife, and I've played about 10 hours of it because it's just a fun solitaire game with like a Regency style aesthetic. So it's kind of like Bridgerton in a way, but definitely a lot more family appropriate. Renowned Explorers is a game I want to play that my wife used to play a lot of. Reus is a game I liked where you play as the controller of four gods, which is kind of fun. They go around the world and you do crazy things. Rise of the Incarnates, I don't remember this game. Rise of the Tomb Raider, my wife played that. Same thing with Rock of Ages, it's my wife's game. I might play Rock of Ages at some point, but it's an indie game. I know a lot of people like it. Rogue Legacy is a mat game to me. I just don't really like the rogue-like genre, I think. I can't get through it at all, practically. Saints Row 4 was a game I liked when I played it. I don't really think I'll ever play it again, though. Sam & Max, I loved Season 1. I loved Season 2, and I would say I like Season 3 because it kind of fell apart a little bit towards the end. Sanctum 2, I liked playing it with my friends when we played it, but then we stopped playing it together, and it's not really a game to play single player. Sea of Thieves, I want to try and play. Haven't really tried it out. Secret of Monkey Island, I liked when I played. Secret Worlds, Legends, I want to play. I just haven't really gotten a chance to play MMOs recently. Probably can't really play them. Shadow Tactics, I liked it. It's a fun stealth top-down game. Shadowrun, I've finished Returns and I loved it, and I've just been having a hard time getting the motivation to play Hong Kong and Dragonfall, which I both like, kind of like. The Ship is a game I don't remember ever getting. I think it's another one of those games where it's like you need multiple people to try and play it. Civ 5, I loved it. I loved Civ Starships too, even though it was a very short game. I beat it in like 3 or 4 hours. Sim Airport's my wife. Same thing with SimCity 4. Simulacra as well. And Sinking City, but I'm actually going to want to play Sinking City. And I want to play Sins of the Solar Empire. Sky Hill I tried out, but it's just not for me, so I'd say it's meh. Sorry We're Closed is a demo, so I'm not putting anything there. Space Hulk, I liked Space Hulk, and same thing with Ascension, which is kind of like a sequel. It's just a fun little tabletop version. And I have to get going. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good one, and I hope people check this out after the fact.